Health. He currently plays a role on the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament, but he was also a Deputy Minister for Education in the Akufo-Addo government. He has taken issue with something the government is doing in the education sector, specifically on curriculum for high schools. Let me understand what is happening. Reverend, you're welcome to Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Mal.
My listeners may not have seen what you tweeted. Can you share with us what your beef with the government is, for which reason you took to Twitter?
Yeah, so the physical education and health subject, the elective subject, we have been monitoring how the curriculum development has been going, and we saw subsequent printout of teacher manuals, which Ghana Education Service, NACA, and the Ministry of Education have printed and distributed to schools to guide teachers in the way they deliver instructions to learners on physical education and health, and in a way that pedagogy will also be informed. And on the week one schedule of the teacher manual, you open it and you see some key definitions of sexual terminologies, i.e. what sex is about, what gender identity is about, what sexual rights are about. And to our surprise, introduction of alien, diabolical, and very vile LGBT propagation and promotions have found their way in there and printed and distributed. And this is what teachers are now being instructed to teach. We're not talking about some soft copy under development. We are not talking about somebody's conceptualization or proposal. We are talking about what has been printed in 2025 by Ministry of Education, Ghana Education Service, and NACA, and distributed to schools and are currently in schools. And one of the definitions that was so absurd is the definition of gender. And they are guiding the teachers, instructing them that they should teach the students in year 2, as in SHS 2, that gender identity means, how you feel in your body, your sexuality, feelings, and contrary to the non-binary nature and category of gender being male or female and assigned at birth. Total disregard. And they go on and on. They come to sexual rights, and there they promote and they state explicitly they must teach the students that sexual right refers to an individual's right to enjoy their sexual, freedoms and feelings without discrimination, without fear, contrary to and complete disregard to the Constitution, what it says, and to our values and norms and our laws, Criminal and Other Offences Act. And so we find these things so alarming. So we quickly came out, and I drew the attention, and I drew the attention of the public and the key actors, the Ministry of Education, that they must quickly recall all these textbooks that are already printed, hard copy. There are copies everywhere. They should recall all of them, number one. And as they recall, they should also review every portion of our textbooks, our teacher manuals, our teacher and learning materials that have been nicodemously poisoned with these alien, unapproved, content promoting LGBT. And when they are done, all the online and the digital platforms with all these TLMs must be sanitized properly. Then we must also sit to have a complete revision. Let's review, because everybody may go to sleep and think that we have a curriculum that we have handed over without these elements. And then when we go to sleep and there are no safeguards, there will be gatekeepers. These things, and now we've identified it in only the physical education. We are doing more such as in the other materials. So we need to do a comprehensive review, then we can redeploy. But in respect of the physical education and health that we are put out, we are urging immediate recall of all the hard copies, and we are demanding revision. And we are asking questions. They must come, Ministry of Education must answer. The public demand an answer. If this is not one of those agenda from Jubilee House to propagate LGBT, like they are gagging the Human Sexual Rights and Family Values Bill from being laid in Parliament For 1 year, we laid it. Nobody. They make sure they gagged it by the leader, by the majority leader. At some point, the speaker, we thought would take action. He was adamant. And from Jubilee, how they are controlling, they are making sure it doesn't even get to Parliament for us to talk about it. Meanwhile, they are sneaking in day by day element of LGBT, its promotion. Unless the distinction here must be clear. We are not talking about some soft copy. We are talking about what has gone through NACA approval and review and taxpayers' money committed to its printing and distributed to teachers, and a directive gone ahead to instruct teachers to teach.
And Reverend, is it confirmed that this is a genuine, credible document?
It is. It is confirmed. Well, the chairman of NACA board, professor, has indicated in an interview to Joy News and considered that, yes, indeed, they are considering a recall. We want to hear a statement. We want to see a statement issued, clear directive issued. There are copies of these textbooks. If you ask teachers who teach physical education, they will all bring you their copies. If you want copies, we'll make them available to you. They are in there. Check week 1 and other schedules. What we are saying is that it should be properly checked. We should be accountable to the parents, to the public, who only sends their students to school and trust the government to deliver right content to them, and who don't have to check every day what content is being delivered. So we need to be accountable to them by issuing a public statement issued by Ministry of Education and another issued by Office of the President, recalling all these hard copy textbooks. As they recall them, we have to be sure that the quality assurance and the Committee on Education in Parliament, my colleagues on it, and particularly on the minority side, have taken keen interest. We will sit to make sure that before any copy is printed, even as it is being transported, we will sample copies to review again, because now they are proving that we can't trust them to print quality, approved, and appropriate content for our learners without poisoning them and introducing it for the LGBT agenda. And Omaro, this is a party which uses LGBT propaganda to win power, only for them to come to power and print this. We are not talking about private, government-approved textbooks, 2025, copyright, Ministry of Education. So it's a serious matter, and questions must be asked.
Reverend,
this must not just be a conclusion.
Can you put your hand on your heart and say that this project...
Very much so.
Can you say that this document was not prepared and worked on by your government when you were in office, which has just been implemented or churned out now, and that everything in this document you talk about was prepared and started afresh by this new government?
Everything in this document, this teacher manual, was prepared in 2025.
So it had no antecedent from your.
No, not at all. No, and that is a surprise, and that is why I say they smuggled it in, because we had already approved the curriculum, and between 2017 and 2024, all the curriculum we worked on, developed, reformed, and approved, and worked on, even all the way to in respect of this physical education subject. We even developed the Year 1 teacher manual. Go and check it. You will not find any of these elements. So NDC came to develop the Year 2 manual. And that is where they introduced, because when you check the approved curriculum for physical education on matters of sex and gender, these introductions are alien. They are so foreign. They are incongruent and totally affronting whatever was approved.
Okay.
And so if an institution like NACA and Ministry of Education, forget about which regime went and came, has approved a curriculum, you have inherited it. Just develop teaching and learning materials out of it. Then you go and introduce completely new concepts, completely different from what has been approved. And that is what you are forcing it on the teachers, and you are forcing it on the students to learn. That is dangerous.
Okay.
And that is why we are saying that we cannot trust this government to print quality, appropriate, and approved non-LGBT promulgation textbooks for them, for which we must sit down.
Okay.
They must recall these textbooks. The financial losses to this is also one discussion we'll have another time. But today, we are demanding they must recall all these poisoned textbooks and teacher manuals, and then let's have a proper revision of it and
Reverend,
ensure proper safeguards are introduced.
It's interesting you refer to this as poisoned. In 2017, your former boss, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, at the time President of the Republic, a question of LGBTQI was thrown at him. And I'm looking at the graphic publication from the time. He said legalization in Ghana is bound to happen. And that's a quotation to Akufo-Addo. So if as way back as 2017, President Akufo-Addo said legalizing homosexuality or LGBTQI was bound to happen, what is the big deal now if this government is doing this? And again, you belong to his party.
Well, that comment was taken out of context. But if NDC now says that there was some comment made in the past for which they want to legalize homosexuality, we will not allow them to legalize it. And if they want to, in a very subtle manner, push it behind closed doors, nicodemously, as everybody has gone to sleep, into textbooks, into teacher manuals, so that will poison the mind of the youth, the most vulnerable group in society affected by LGBT, we shall resist it to the last breath.
Very well. Thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
That's Rev.Ntim Fordjour. He is NPP Member of Parliament for Assin.